The first step has been taken in Wichita for the Hutchinson Community College Baseball team, and it was a most impressive victory yesterday as Hutchinson used a 5-inning run rule to defeat Fort Scott 15-2 to move on to this winner's bracket semifinal of the Central District Baseball Tournament here at Tyler Field Eck Stadium in Wichita, Kansas. It is time for Hutchinson Community College Baseball on the Blue Dragon Sports Network. This evening, it is the winner's bracket semifinal between the homestanding and number 1 seed Hutchinson Blue Dragons and the number 5 seed Colby Trojans. I'm Steve Carpenter. Thank you for joining us this evening. Denny Steckline has other obligations tonight up at Third Thursday, so he's not with me tonight. He'll be back tomorrow, whatever time the Blue Dragons play. It would either be at 1 p.m. or 4 p.m. We prefer the 4 p.m. game because that means the Blue Dragons will get business done tonight. This is the winner's bracket semifinal. The winner of this game will take on the Cali Tigers. Cali run-ruled Barton about an hour ago, 10-2 in 7 innings to move on to the winner's bracket final. Now the Blue Dragons will try to get there for the first time in this format since 2005. And incidentally, the Blue Dragons went to the Junior College World Series in 2005. So the Blue Dragons have a tough task against Colby. Colby rallied late last night, forced extra innings, and then defeated Johnson County 11-10 in 10 innings. They were down 8-2 at one point. Things not looking good for Ryan Carter's crew, but all of a sudden they came back. Catcher Cameron Tilley, a couple of huge home runs last night, and he is on fire. He has 6 home runs in his last 4 games, so the Dragons have to be careful pitching to him. The Dragons swept Colby in their regular season series, taking the first 2 games at Colby, and then obviously coming to Hobart-Detter 2 days later and getting the win. That was the reason why the Blue Dragons are the number 1 seed. Hutchinson tied Butler for the conference championship, but by virtue of the sweep over Colby, that was the main tiebreaker in giving Hutchinson the number 1 seed. So the Hutchinson Blue Dragons, with that number 1 seed, are going to be the home team for the duration of the tournament. And that's a huge thing because they will always have the last at bat. Ryan Schmidt still shaking around the pitching rotation with the absence of Jake Buns. He's injured. Tonight he's going to ride with freshman L.J. McDonough. McDonough was ticketed for the weekend rotation right off the bat, but he had control issues. But his last 6 outings, L.J. has been nails. He's picked up a couple of wins and a save in his last 6 outings and has become a strikeout machine. In 4 2/3 innings against Seward, back on April 20th, McDonough struck out 11. And then last week against Labette in game number 1 of that best-of-3 opening round series, in 5 innings, McDonough struck out 10. He's going to be opposed by Peyton Ingalls for the Trojans. Ingalls, a right-hander, and he gets the start for Colby. So the Dragons and the Trojans, Hutchinson 41-19 overall, and Colby at 36-20. And the Dragons have won the first 4 innings, but that is completely and utterly meaningless. Right now, Colby living on a lot of adrenaline after that comeback win against Johnson County last night. Real quickly, earlier today, the other 3 games have been played. The conference co-champion Butler Grizzlies have been eliminated. They were taken out by Cloud County 15-2 in 5 innings. Cloud County came out swinging and really put the Butler Grizzlies in a huge hole that they never climbed out of, so Butler's done. Johnson County rallied from 7-2 down to walk it off against Fort Scott, the team the Blue Dragons beat yesterday. That was a 8-7 Johnson County win, again a walk-off win, 9-8, a walk-off win in the 9th inning for Johnson County. And then we already told you about Cali in the first winner's bracket semifinal, defeating Barton by the score of 10-2 in 7 innings. Barton will now play Johnson County tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. in that elimination game. If Hutchinson wins this game, they play Cowley at 4. If they lose this game, they play Cloud County at 1 p.m. tomorrow in an elimination contest. And Hutchinson would have to win twice tomorrow to get to the all-important Saturday championship day. They'd still have to win 3 more games from that point on. So this, in terms of pitching depth, a very important game for the Blue Dragons to win. They were in this game last year and were defeated by Johnson County, but rallied back and defeated the Cavaliers back in the losers bracket in the losers bracket semifinals before falling to Barton. Let's get to the starting lineups for this one. First for the Colby Trojans, again 36-20 under 20th year head coach Ryan Carter. Jacob Buzide will lead it off. He is the designated hitter. He's been battling injury, but he's back in action for the Trojans. He's leading off in his designated hitter tonight. Enoch Perez is batting second at second base. Batting third is the third baseman, Matt Kootenai. The hot-hitting Cameron Tilley, the catcher for the Colby Trojans, he bats cleanup. 6 home runs in his last 4 games, including 2 last night against Johnson County. Jason Evans is the right fielder. He's batting 5th. Blake Gallagher bats 6th. He's the shortstop. Left fielder Tucker Zadunich, my apologies. Tucker Zadunich bats 7th and is in left field. Tyler Mcwilley bats 8th at first base. And batting 9th is the center fielder, Reese Cornell. Peyton Ingles gets the start for the Trojans. We'll get his numbers here very quickly. Peyton Ingles, a 5-3 record and a 6.35 earned run average. So the Trojans line up Buzide, Perez, Kootenai, Tilley, Evans, Gallagher, Zadunich, McWillie, Cornell, and right-hander Peyton Ingles on the mound. For the Blue Dragons, they'll line up like this for 7th-year head coach Ryan Schmidt. Dragons now 41-19 overall. Logan Sartori will lead it off for Hutchinson and play second base. Batting second will be the shortstop Dylan Nedved. Batting third, the designated hitter Zane Schmidt. Riley Metzger bats cleanup and plays left field. Zion Bolin bats 5th. He's in right. Bolin had that huge catch to start the game yesterday. We'll talk a little bit more about that in a moment. Batting 6th is the third baseman Ryan Moritz. Zach Baxley had a home run here last night. He bats 7th and plays first base. Max McGuire bats 8th. He will do the catching and will reach back in the lineup for the injured Jeremiah Caesar. Reach batting 9th and plays center field. LJ McDonough, the starting pitcher, making his 5th start, 14th appearance, a 1-3 record with a 4.80 ERA and 1 save for LJ. So the Blue Dragons line up Sartori, Nedved, Schmidt, Metzger, Bolin, Moritz, Baxley, McGuire, and Reitz with LJ McDonough on the mound. Our umpires this evening at third base, Brett Vogt, at first base, Nate Garrison, and behind the plate, Scott Birch. Dragons taking the field, wearing their reds tonight, one of my favorite uniforms for the Blue Dragons. Those are just sharp-looking uniforms. If they ever get retired, I'm going to get a couple of them from Schmitty. But right now, the Dragons need them to try to win a baseball game tonight, and that's what they're going to try to do. Hutchinson has not been in the 8-team winners bracket final since 2005. In 10, 11, and 12, there were 4-team sub-regionals, and the 4 sub-regional winners came here to Wichita. And in 2010, Hutchinson was in the winners bracket final, and that very memorable 13-inning game where they defeated the Cali Tigers, where Andrew Dixon scored all the way from second base on a wild pitch on the final play of the game. So LJ McDonough taking his warm-up tosses. LJ 1-3, 4.80 ERA. He has 1 save. 5th start, 14th overall appearance. He's pitched 30 innings, 26 hits, 22 runs, 16 earned. He has now struck out 53, walked 21, but that number has decisively gone down in his past 5 outings. Opponents hitting .230 against. He gets one of the best offenses in the Jayhawk West. Colby hitting .321. They have 85 home runs, and this team is a hot swinging team. Colby swept Coffeyville in an offensive show in the first round series. Doubleheader almost took 8.5 hours to complete. That's not counting the 30 minutes in between games. So the Blue Dragons swept the Trojans back on a couple of weeks ago. The wind was howling out at Colby, and it was the exact opposite at Hobart Detter Field, where the wind was blowing in. And the Blue Dragons wound up getting all 4 wins, which proved pivotal, as the conference co-champion Blue Dragons tied Butler and then got the number 1 overall seed. Here we go. Thanks for joining us tonight on the Blue Dragon Sports Network. Postseason baseball, Blue Dragon style. Steve Carpenter with you. And here we go. LJ McDonough to face Jacob Buzide. And it's a fastball right down the chute. First pitch right at 7 p.m. So we have started almost every game of this tournament right on time. That pitch misses a little bit low for a ball, 1-1. Buzide last night was 2 for 6. He had a double. Scored 1. He swings and hits one high and deep to right center field. Reads at the wall and it's gone. A leadoff home run for Buzide. And the hot hitting continues. That's Buzide's 4th home run, 14th RBI of the year. And that ball didn't take long to leave the yard. So now the second baseman, Enoch Perez. Perez last night 2 for 6. A free swinger, Perez. He had a home run in the regular season series. And pitch taken for a ball. Perez hitting .374 for the year, 14 home runs, 51 RBIs. The pitch over the head and actually behind Perez for a ball. And it's 2-0. It is the first to pitch, ball 3. It's the 3rd home run allowed by McDonough, the 38th by Blue Dragon pitching. Here's the triple. And there, it misses, ball 4. So a 4-pitch walk, a home run and a 4-pitch walk. And it's an inauspicious start here this evening for the Blue Dragons. Now Matt Kootenai. Kootenai yesterday 2 for 4. Kootenai also homered. Colby had 3 home runs last night. Kootenai for the year, a .429 hitter, 14 home runs and 60 driven in. So lefty-righty matchup. The wind and the pitch. High chopper foul past Toby Corneo, the first base coach. The balls have been flying out of Eck Stadium in this tournament. I believe that was the 12th home run so far in the first. Actually, check that, the 14th home run in the first 8 games. McDonough comes set, delivers the 0-1. Breaking pitch outside, and the count even at a ball and a strike. Eck Stadium, very similar to Hobart Detter Field in terms of dimensions. 330 down the lines, 375 to the gaps, and 390 to dead center. Hobart Detter just a little bit longer in both the gaps and in center field. The pitch. Big swing and a miss on a high fastball. McDonough's up in the count 1-2 on Kootenai. Kootenai's been clutch the last 2 years for the Colby Trojans. He had several big hits in the Region 6 tournament last year. Check of the runner, the 1-2. Fastball just a little bit wide, 2 balls and 2 strikes. Kootenai was 6 for 14 in the 4-game series against Hutchinson. He had a double, a home run, and 5 driven in. So the Dragons didn't have a lot of success back in April getting the hot-hitting Colby third baseman out. He had 8 hits against Hutchinson as a freshman in 4 games. The 2-2 runner goes. Pitch is way outside. The throw is not even close. It's a stolen base for Perez. His 9th steal of the year in 16 attempts. And it's a full count due to Kootenai. Still nobody out, just the third batter of the game, but Hutchinson trails 1-0. Lately, it's been the Blue Dragons jumping on top of opponents. Now they're going to have to come from behind. Here's the payoff. Outside, ball 4. So a home run to Buzide and back-to-back walks to Perez and Kootenai. Ryan Schmidt is going to have an early trip to the mound to settle McDonough down. It was walks that were his downfall early in the season. He had 15 walks in his first 9 innings pitched this year, did L.J. McDonough. But over his last 5 outings, which covers roughly 18 innings, that walk count was way down and the strikeout count was way up. So Ryan Schmidt trying to settle his pitcher down, and the hottest Colby hitter of them all, Cameron Tilley, steps in. Tilley hitting .383. Now 16 home runs with the 2 last night, 65 driven in. That's a team high. He has 4 home runs in his last 6 games. Also 21 RBIs over those last 6 games. Johnson County had no luck getting this young man out last night. And he's also one of the best defensive catchers in the Jayhawk Conference. Throws out close to 40% of base stealers. Dragons could use a out of any kind. Trailing 1-0. Still looking for the first out. The pitch. Slice foul. That's rattling around the upper deck to our right side. That upper deck was made famous by Brent Chemnitz when he pulled the old Bobby Valentine dressed up in a suit or a long jacket so he wouldn't be found after he was suspended. It's a swing and a miss on a changeup, and it's 0-2 to Tilley. That whole thing happened after the Nate Robertson deal beating Anthony Molina from Bradley several years ago on a warm-up pitch. 0-2 pitch. And when it's hit well to center, Reitz has a beat on it, though. Now in a few steps, making the catch. Tagging from second is Perez. And the Trojans have runners on the corners and now 1 away. So Tilley becomes the first out. Now right fielder Jason Evans. Evans was 1 for 5 last night, drove in a run. For the season, Evans hitting .333 with 57 hits, 4 home runs, and 31 RBIs. Dragons can use a double play and just minimize the damage here in the first. Time called and is granted to Evans. Another gorgeous day here in Wichita. The wind blowing out to left, 15-20. The pitch. Nice fastball from McDonough. It's a strike. 0-1. In the regular season series, Evans was 1 for 9 against Hutchinson pitching. The pitch. High away for a ball. 1-1. That was a fastball from McDonough. Registering right about 90. The gun's working. But I've been told the big scoreboard, we're going to lose it sometime during the tournament, probably tomorrow, because they're cutting the fiber out there with all the construction going on. There's a shot foul outside of third. Now it's 1-2 to Evans. 5A state tournament is supposed to be here next weekend. And if they don't have the big digital scoreboard out there, or the big video scoreboard out there in left center, the only scoreboard sits on the facade of the upper deck to our right. So basically, home plate in the first base side cannot see a scoreboard. But that's another problem for another day. 1-2 pitch. And one gets off the glove of McGuire and down the line to score is Perez. It'll be a pass ball. Charge to McGuire. And it's 2-0 Colby. Actually, we'll make that a wild pitch. That pitch is fairly up and out. So that'll be a wild pitch. Perez scores. Kootenai goes to second. That takes the double play off the table and just makes things a little tougher for Hutchinson here in the top of the first. The day has not gone according to plan around here, just in terms of who thinks what's going to happen did happen. Pitch way upstairs. Fort Scott should have beaten Johnson County. They were up 7-2 late, and 3 errors in 1 inning let that lead disappear quickly on it. It all started on a drop fly ball in center field. Now full count to Evans. There is action in the pen. That should be Matt Hopkins, and it is. Payoff pitch. And that one gets away. McGuire can't find it. Up to third is Kootenai. Evans will stay put. And it's a tough go right now for the Blue Dragons. Another wild pitch. So now it's runners at the corners, 1 away. And that will bring up Blake Gallagher. Gallagher was 0 for 4 yesterday. .335 hitter for the year. He has 10 home runs, 41 RBIs. 4 different Colby batters with 10 or more home runs. They have 85 as a team. High fly to center. This should score the run. Reitz coming and making the catch. Kootenai tags. The throw will come into second, and Colby leads it 3-0. 3 runs on just 1 hit so far for the Trojans. Now left fielder Tucker Zadunich. Zadunich 1 for 5 yesterday. He was 3 for 12 with a double and 2 RBIs in the regular season series against Hutchinson. Zadunich hitting .333 for the year, hitting from the left side. The pitch. Fastball misses upstairs, ball 1. It's a 24-pitch inning for McDonough. Only 10 have been in the zone. Evans lead away from first. Here's the pitch. Hit him. Two walks. Check that. 3 walks and now a hit batsman. And here comes Ryan Schmidt. And it's going to be a short evening on the mound for LJ McDonough, as Matt Hopkins will become the new Blue Dragon pitcher. We'll tell you about him after the break. 3-0 Colby. Top of the first inning here in Wichita. Matt Hopkins is going to be asked to, 1, keep it right here at 3-0, then chew up some innings. The Oklahoma sophomore is on for the 15th time. 2-1 record, 1 save with a 1.48 earned run average. Matt's worked 24 in the third innings. He's allowed 20 hits, 21 runs. Only 4 of those runs have been earned. He has struck out 37 and walked 13. And opponents hitting .215 against. Fastball slider pitcher, and the slider can be absolutely devastating. He can also fall in love with it and hang one. We've seen both versions throughout the year. Now the 8th batter of the inning, first baseman Tyler Mcwilley steps in for the Trojans. Already 3 across on just 1 hit. L.J. McDonough goes 2/3 of an inning, has allowed 3 runs. The runners on base are his responsibility. He walked 3 and hit 1. Also allowed a home run to Jacob Buzite on the second pitch of the game. So 2 out in the inning, 3 across. Now Matt Hopkins goes to work against Mcwilley, a .255 hitter. Breaking, there's a slider inside corner, a strike. Mcwilley has power, 7 home runs out of his 26 total hits, 31 RBIs. The pitch. Lifted high, left center pretty deep, reads at the wall, and it's gone. A 3-run home run for Mcwilley, and just like that, Hutchinson trails at 6-0. And I wondered about the way the Trojans were going to come into this one after that comeback win last night. They were fired up. They played the late game last night, and they has continued to have the momentum and the adrenaline. It's a 6-run inning for the Trojans, and the Dragons haven't even been to the plate yet. Now Reese Cornell, the 9th batter of the inning, hitting from the 9-hole. Cornell had the game-tying hit in the 9th last night against Johnson County. Here's a strike. Cornell hitting .286 for the year, 3 home runs, 23 RBIs. And pitch high and outside. 2 home runs in the inning. A leadoff home run by Buzite, a 3-run home run by Mcwilley. Pitch off the plate wide, and it's 2-1. Mind you, the Dragons have yet to swing a bat yet, and wait to see if all the great at-bats they had yesterday will carry over. That pitch foul back. Now it's 2-2. Dragons had some tremendous at-bats, 15 runs, 15 hits yesterday against Fort Scott. But outside of a wild swing just here and there, the Dragons probably strung together their most good at-bats of the season. The pitch nearly hit him on the 2-2. Now it's a full count to Cornell. This inning has already lasted 18 minutes in duration. Shadows starting to come across the infield. Payoff pitch just popped up and out of play to the left. So now you can officially close the book on L.J. McDonough. 2/3 of an inning, 1 hit, 5 earned runs allowed, 3 walks, 2 wild pitches, and a hit batsman. 3-2 pitch struck him out, and the inning is finally over. Colby comes up with 6 runs on just 2 hits, no errors, and 2 left on after a half inning. It is Colby's 6 and the Blue Dragons coming up. Welcome back to Eck Stadium, everybody. Steve Carpenter with you. Blue Dragons in a 6-run hole before stepping to the plate for the first time. The Dragons get set to face Peyton Ingles. 5-3 record and a 6.35 ERA. 13th start. 62 and a third innings pitched, 73 hits, 50 runs. He has struck out 66 and walked 27. Logan Sartori to lead it off. He had a 3-hit night last night. First pitch swinging, and he hits one high but playable to center field. Drifting back is Reese. Ball's dropped. It's down. He didn't have it. Now Sartori digging for third, and he's in. The center fielder, Reese Cornell, stumbled at the last moment. The ball kept carrying. It'll be a triple. So the notorious first pitch hitting Sartori triples. See if Reese Cornell's okay. Now Ryan Carter comes out. And I'm wondering if Sartori may not have touched up a base. I don't know why the discussion would be they would just appeal it. But that would be the only thing I could think of. Sartori slowed down. And then when he saw the ball was not in the glove of Reese Cornell, he took off again. So I'm wondering if Ryan Carter is wondering if eventually when Sartori slowed down and thought he was out, if he went out of the baseline. But it's going to stand. Sartori gets his 4th hit of this portion of the series, or the postseason. It's his 4th triple of the year. Now it's strike one to Dylan Nedved. Nedved was 3 for 6 with 3 RBIs, 3 runs scored, all singles yesterday. The pitch. High pop in the infield. Second baseman Enoch Perez drifts back, makes the catch. Sartori makes a gibble up. Now they throw behind him. The ball gets away, but not far enough for Sartori to score. And it's 1 away. You're down 6. You don't need to go first pitch hacking. Now it's a runner at third, 1 away for Zane Schmidt. League leader in home runs with 20. Second in the league with 68 RBIs. Now hitting .387. Team high 84 hits. The pitch. Way outside. Good stop by Cameron Tilley. That pitch misses, and it's 1-1 to Zane Schmidt. Zane's second on the single season Blue Dragon home run list with 20. Behind only Caden Doge's 31. The pitch. Ground ball right side. They also get the run home. Enoch Perez will throw out Schmidt for out number 2, and the Dragons are on the board. Sartori drives in his Schmidt drives in his 69th run of the year. And now here's Riley Metzger, bases empty, 2 away. Riley has 3 postseason home runs, 1 here yesterday. Pitch taken a little bit low. The wind of the pitch, foul back. Ingles took a loss in one of the games against the Blue Dragons. Pitched 3 innings, allowed 8 hits, 8 earned runs, struck out 5 and walked 3. There's a strike. That was the game 2 win at Colby. Now it's 1-2 to Metzger. The pitch. A little bit low, 2-2. Angles into the line, the pitch. Struck him out. Tilly will have to throw down to record the out, and it's made. But the Dragons get one back. A triple by Sartoria, ground out by Schmidt. We're in 1 run, 1 hit, nobody left after 1. It's Colby 6 and the Blue Dragons 1. Send out a word of congratulations to Blue Dragon track and field sophomore Hannah Smith. She completes her Blue Dragon career with a third place finish at the National Outdoor Championships and breaks the school record for the 4th time this year, throwing better than 180 feet. Absolutely shattered the old record by 7 feet, which was her record. Now Jacob Buzide takes inside from Matt Hopkins to start the second. Buzide started all this up in the first with a home run to dead center. Ball 2. It was Buzide's 4th home run of the year. Foul back. I'm staying at the same hotel as the Trojans, and they were a very happy, loose bunch last night after that come-from-behind win. And you just had a feeling that was going to carry over to tonight. A little tapper right back to Hopkins. He'll set and throw to first. And there's 1 away. Now Enoch Perez. Perez walked and scored. One of 3 Trojans to walk against L.J. McDonough. The loss of Jake Buns really kind of threw the rotation up in the air for Ryan Schmidt. The opening round series, that pitch to Perez misses high. The opening round series pushed back a day, and the Dragons ended up having to go 3 games against Labette to get here. Swung on him, foul back. 1-1 the count to Enoch Perez. So most likely tomorrow, now on full rest, we'll see Nedved and Miguel Reyes. Good fastball from Hopkins right at the knees. And it's 1-2. Brian Skillman threw a 5-inning complete game yesterday. Did he go around? Yes, he did. That's a strikeout. That's the nasty slider from Hopkins we talk about. Second strikeout for Hopkins. 2 up, 2 down. Now the third baseman, Matt Kootenai, he walked his first time up and scored. Butler and Fort Scott are done. They lost earlier today. Johnson County and Cloud County survived. The loser of this game gets Cloud tomorrow at 1. The pitch. Inside. Hopkins really works hard to try to establish the inner half against either righties or lefties. Sometimes he gets a little too far inside. He's hit a ton of batters in his Blue Dragon career. Hard hit ball up the middle, and that's Colby's just second base hit of the game. third hit of the game. He scored 6 runs and now 3 hits. And now the hot-hitting Cameron Tilley. Tilley flew out to moderately deep center his first time up. That moved up Perez. Kind of set the wheels in motion for that big 6-run inning. The pitch. Flared to right, coming on hard is Zion Bolin. He makes the catch and the inning is over. Not quite as spectacular as yesterday when he robbed the home run, but equally as important. Colby comes up with no runs, a hit and 1 left. We go to the bottom of the second inning. It's the Trojans 6 and the Dragons 1. If you get on BlueDragonSports.com, you're going to see a picture. It's still in the lead slot, but you're going to see a picture of Zion Bolin robbing a home run. It happened in the first batter of the game against Fort Scott yesterday. That picture is getting huge play on all of our social media platforms. And that was taken by Blue Dragon Sports information photographer Bree Rogers. And stepping up is the aforementioned Zion Bolin. Zion yesterday against Fort Scott was 1 for 3 with a triple and an RBI. First pitch swings and fouls it out of play to the right. Zion with power to the right side. For the year, Zion hitting .296. 5 home runs, 34 RBIs. That pitch just misses. You get a groan from the Colby folks. Count even at 1-1. That pitch in the dirt and back behind the home plate area. This is only the second true night game the Blue Dragons have played this year. This is game number 61. Bolin takes high for a ball, 3-1. Dragons got 1 against Peyton Ingles in the first. Sartori tripled and scored on Zane Schmidt's ground out, and now it's a leadoff walk to Bolin to start the second. Now Ryan Moritz, the sophomore from Omaha. Mo hitting .320. 2 home runs, 25 RBIs. Moritz yesterday was 2 for 4 with a run and an RBI. The pitch. Big cut and a miss. Against Colby in the regular season, Moritz was 3 for 11 with a home run. Grounds this one foul outside of first. The home run came in game number 3, the comeback win against the Trojans. Again, I don't have all my numbers up because of limited space, so I don't have all my stats in front of me like I normally do. Danny Steckline will be back with me again tomorrow. He's working third Thursday tonight for the Hutch Monarchs. go down there, but you can listen to us on your phone or your iPad. Bring a tablet with you and listen and watch the game down at third Thursday. That pitch misses. 1-2 now to Moritz. Jamel Cervantes in the third base coaching box. Toby Corneo over at first. These two know something about winning the Region 6 tournament. They were part of the 2010 team. Upstairs, 2-2. I alluded to it earlier, but yesterday, just the string of at-bats the Blue Dragons put together. Patient at-bats, taking pitches, not chasing out of the zone. It was a sight to behold for this free-swinging bunch of 2019. The pitch. A little bit high, full count. So Moritz comes back to fill it after being down 0-2. Mo does have a team, or second on the team with 37 walks, only 2 behind Zane Schmidt for that team high honor. We'll see if Bolin goes with a full count. Moritz strikes out a lot the pitch. Outside, ball 4. Back-to-back walks to start the second, so the Dragons have an opportunity. And Zach Baxley will be the batter. And he'll bring a conference to the mound with the Colby pitching coach. So a good start to the second. Back-to-back walks to 2 of the Blue Dragons' most considered free swingers. Zach Baxley will be the batter. Bax broke out of that huge slump. Hopefully broke out of that. He had a 3-run home run yesterday that one-hopped the fence and then went out onto 21st Street. That was part of the 7-run 4th inning. And it was an absolute mash. Baxley now hitting .279 with 51 hits. He has 105 career hits. The 43rd Blue Dragon to reach the 100 career hit club. 5 home runs, 33 driven in for Baxley. First and second, nobody out. Bottom of the second, Dragons trailing 6-1. Peyton Ingalls looking in, comes set. Checks the runner at second, delivers. Breaking pitch, strike inside corner at the letters. I got the Dragon fans oohing and awing in not such a nice way. Here's the 0-1 to Bax. In the dirt. Ball 2. Jeff Arns from the Hutch News brings up a solid point. With this being an all-turf field, is the pitch actually in the dirt on a turf field? It's a great point. But there's dirt on the mound. 1-1. Foul back. We'll ring into the sky boxes off to our right. Count 1-2. The pitch. Struck him out on a changeup. So 1 away. Now Max McGuire. Sophomore from Lincoln. Max was the only Blue Dragon starter yesterday without a hit, but he reached base, scored 1 run. McGuire hitting .242 with 5 home runs and 24 RBIs. Bolin at second, Moritz at first. They walk to start the inning, still there with 1 out. Pitch in the dirt. Bolin's going to try to move up and is in safely on the wild pitch. Moritz stays at first. You don't want to test Cameron Tilley if you don't have to. When we talked, he throws out almost 40% of would-be base stealers. Now, runners at the corners 1 away. The pitch. Slice foul off to the right. 1-1 now to McGuire. Will Reitz on deck. Reitz had been yanked from the lineup because of a slumbering bat. Reinserted after Jeremiah Caesar hurt yesterday. Another low pitch blocked by Tilley. And McGuire's up in the count 2-1. Here's the pitch. Hit well to center. Playable though for Cornell. He makes the catch, tagging, and coming down the line from third is Zion Bolin. And the Dragons have scored 2 unanswered to cut the lead of the Trojans down to 4. It's 6-2. You don't have to get it all back in one shot, especially early as the game is. Now Will Reitz, the freshman. 256 batter, 10 home runs, 29 RBIs, the conference leader in hit by pitches. He's only been hit once in his last 20 games, though, so that pace has fallen way off. He hits this one well to center field. Cornell going back, and he'll make the catch. But Will puts a good swing on it. But again, the Dragons get one back. They chip away a little bit more. 1 run on, no hits. 1 left on, and after 2, our new score. Trojans 6 and the Dragons 2. Welcome back to Eck Stadium in Wichita, everybody. The winners bracket semifinal of the Central District Tournament, also known as the Region 6 Tournament. Dragons trail 6-2 after 2. Matt Hopkins back for his second full innings. It's Evans, Gallagher, and Zadunich, 5, 6, and 7 here in the Trojan third. Colby with a 6th spot on just 1 hit. Or back in the first. Or 2 hits, both of them home runs. Ball 1 to Evans. Here's a strike. Evans hitting .333, 4 home runs, 31 driven in. The pitch. Strike called at the knees, 1-2. Evans yesterday against Johnson County was 1 for 5. Hopkins into the one, the pitch. That pitch sails outside, 2-2. With the 2 home runs in the first inning, Blue Dragon pitching has now surrendered 39 for the year. The one's ripped foul just outside of first. It's a free-swinging Colby bunch, much like the Blue Dragons. Dragons came into the Wichita portion of the tournament slumping. Team average of .301 coming in. Now hitting .305 for the year. There's a swing and a miss for a strikeout, 1 away. 3rd strikeout for Hopkins. Here's Blake Gallagher. He had a sac fly his first time up. Gallagher now with 2 RBIs here in Wichita. That pitch misses. So a year that the Jayhawk West absolutely beat up on each other. The pitch. Once hit toward the gap right center field. Nobody's going to get to this one. And it will one-hop the wall. Extra bases for Gallagher. Let's see if he thinks about 3. He doesn't. It's a 1-out double for Gallagher here in the 3rd. Now left fielder Tucker Zadunich. He was hit by a pitch. And that was the last batter faced by L.J. McDonough. One batter later, Mcwilley hit the 3-run bomb. So now we're at second, 1 away. Zach Philbin starts jogging down to the Blue Dragon bullpen. E-Dub, Eric Williams going down, the bullpen catcher. Ball 1 to Zadunich. Four hits now for Colby, just 1 for the Blue Dragons. The wind of the pitch. Outside 2-0. Dragons trying to reach the winner's bracket final of the 8-team version of this tournament. For the first time since 2005. There's a fastball right down the chute. 2-1 now to Zadunich. In 2005, they beat Allen and then knocked off Butler in the winner's bracket semifinal. This game lost to Garden City, but came all the way back, had to defeat Garden City twice, did so, and went to the World Series for the first time in school history. The Dragons have won 3 Region 6 tournaments in team history. 1975, the program's inaugural year, but they lost a by-district best-of-3 series with Lamar from Colorado. 2-1 pitch. High pop in the infield. Dylan Nedved waiting for it. He's got it for out number 2. And the Dragons waited 30 years for the 2005 championship. That was with all the local players. Luke Nacarado and that entire bunch. Noah Kroll. 5 years later, the wild, wacky run of the 2010 postseason. Dragons finished 3rd in Grand Junction. Here's Mcwilley, a 3-run home run his first time up. Hopkins paints the outside corner at the knees with a strike. That pitch at 85. Didn't notice that the gun was on last night during our broadcast. I happened to notice it in the game after that. Hopkins out of the stretch. Runner at second, 2 away. The pitch. Slider for a strike, inner half. Mcwilley didn't think so. Now he hits from an 0-2 hole. Hopkins a strike away from getting out of the 3rd. The pitch over the head. That's the slider that got away from him. And that's the pitch that has gotten Matty in trouble a lot. Hopkins has hit 5 batters this year. He's cut down on his wild pitches. He's down to 2. He had 8 as a freshman. 1-2 pitch. Lifted foul off to the right. Count remains 1-2 on Tyler Mcwilley, the Colby first baseman. Now the 1-2. Struck him out on a changeup. Matty took something off of it, gets 2 strikeouts in the inning, and strands the 1-out double at second base. No runs, a hit, 1 left. We've completed 2.5 here in Wichita. Dragons trail Colby 6-2. Not sure what time we'll be with you. If this score stays put with you at 12:45, but the Dragons have had some comebacks in them this year. Trailing Colby 6-2. Bottom of the third, Logan Sartori to lead it off. First pitch swinging, he cues a foul. That triple by Logan Sartori tied the career school record for triples with Quentin Crandall with 10. The triple back in the first inning. There's a fastball from Ingles that misses a little bit low. Didn't miss by much, right? Carter from the Colby dugout wondering where it was. 1-1 to Sartori, the pitch. Lifted, fouled, or high down the right field line, but it'll curve just into the Dragon bullpen. And Sartori hits him a 1-2 hole. It's Sartori, Nedved, and Schmidt here in the bottom of the third. 6 runs, 4 hits for Colby, 2 runs, just 1 hit for the Blue Dragons. And 15 yesterday, including 3 bombs. The pitch. Flare to right field, playable for Evans. He's got it. There's one away. Check that, 2 home runs yesterday, Metzger and Baxley. Sartori 1 for 2, and now Dylan Nedved. He popped out his first time up. And it'll take the same type of approach tonight that it did to blow out Fort Scott. Pitch hit him. Fastball got away from Ingles and went right into the middle of the back of Nedved. He wears a pitch with 1 out. Now Zane Schmidt. Nedved hit for the 7th time. That's HBP number 96 for the season. 7th most in Blue Dragon history. Nedved will get his lead away from first. Ingles into the stretch, the pitch. And once hit the center field on the line, but playable for Carney. He makes the catch. He had him shaded toward right center. Very quickly, 2 away. Now Riley Metzger. Pitch count for Ingles, just 37 through 2 2/3 innings. The 2019 Blue Dragons have been a free swinging bunch. A record of 41-19, so a lot of positives to it. Now Nedved at first, 2 away for Metzger. Fastball in the outside corner. Not a popular call by home plate umpire Scott Birch with the Blue Dragon fans. Good contingent of Dragon fans on hand. A lot of stuff going on back in town tonight. The pitch, way outside. Several middle school band and orchestra concerts taking place tonight. Both my daughter Samantha was in the orchestra concert down at DCI Park, and my granddaughter Karen performing right as we speak over at Hutch High in the HMS 8 band. The pitch. Once hit right field, it is over Evans' head and bounces over the wall for a ground rule double, and that's going to cost the Dragons a run. Nedved was going on 2 outs, would have scored easily, but the ball sprung off that turf and bounced over the wall, and that's a break for the Trojans, at least for now. So Metzger with his 14th double of the year. Now Zion Bolin, he walked and came around to score the Dragons' 2nd run. Ground ball right to short. Gallagher has it. Fields throws, and the Dragons are done in the 3rd. No runs, a hit, 2 left. We've completed 3 here in Wichita. Trojans 6 and the Dragons 2. Well, if the Blue Dragons are going to stay in this one, they're going to show off the pitching depth a little bit. Lefty Zach Philbin takes over for Matt Hopkins. Matty worked 2 1/3 innings. And now the big lefty Philbin comes in here in the top of the fourth. Hutchinson trailing just 6-2. 6-2 looks a whole lot better than 6-0 after a half. He will get 9-1-2. Cornell, Buzide, and Perez here in the Colby half of the fourth. Zach Philbin on for the 17th time, a 4-0 record, 4.98 ERA. All 17 appearances have been out of the pen. 21 2/3 innings, 22 hits, 12 runs, 28 strikeouts, 8 walks, and opponents hitting .262 against. Lefty-lefty matchup at Reese Cornell, and Zach almost hits him with the first offering of the fourth inning. Cornell has struck out in his only plate appearance. And pitch misses, and it's 2-0. Matt Hopkins works 2 1/3, 3 hits, 1 run, 4 strikeouts, no walks. Faced 10 batters and 35 pitches. Cornell fooled on that offering. And it's 2-1. Philbin didn't pitch in the Labette series. Foul tipped at the plate. Now it's 2-2. Zach Philbin making his 38th career appearance for the Blue Dragons. That is now 6th all time. He has a 6-1 career record with a 4.66 ERA. The pitch got him swinging. Nasty little tightly wound slider from Philbin. He gets a strikeout. One away here in the fourth, and it's back to the top of the order in Jacob Buzide. Buzide did not play in the regular season series. He was injured. Played center field here last night. Hard hit ball. Diving stop. Baxley gets to his feet. Now the race to the bag, and Bax wins it by a step. 2 away. Nice play by Baxley. First on the dive. Philbin was late getting over, so it was going to be all Bax. And he beats Buzide to the bag. 2 away here in the fourth. Here's Enoch Perez. He has walked and scored and struck out 0 for 1. The pitch. Ground ball to short, deep short. Nedved Fields throws and gets him, and the inning is over. Dragons flash a little louder here in the fourth. First by Baxley, then by Nedved. 3 up and 3 down. We go to the bottom of the fourth. Dragons trail Colby 6-2. It's Moritz, Baxley, and McGuire, 6, 7, and 8 here in the Hutchinson fourth. And you're hoping that the Dragon pitching staff can put up enough zeros to kind of slow down the Colby momentum. We talked about the big comeback win last night against Johnson County. winning it in 10 innings. And they immediately come out and put up a 6 spot against the Dragons. Now 3 straight scoreless innings against the bullpen. Time for the Dragons offense to get going. Just 2 hits through 4 innings, or 3 innings against Peyton Eagles, and it's ball 1 to Ryan Moritz, who drew a walk his first time up. There's a strike inside corner. That walk was the 6th postseason walk to Moritz this year. Now 38 walks laid on that offering, and it's 1-2. The wind blowing out to left, a little lighter than it was about 3-4 hours ago. Right now, Eck Stadium, a lively ballpark. 1-2 pitch. And on the hands, it's fouled off toward Wichita State's hitting indoor facility. What a spectacular thing that thing is. If you ever get to go inside, do so. I guarantee you, if you're a baseball fan of any kind, your jaw's going to hit the floor. The pitch. Changeup misses outside from Ingles, and it's 2-2 to Moritz. The construction, the Shockers are going to get a new dugout. They're moving from the first base dugout over to the third base side. New dugout, new clubhouse, the whole works. That's up the middle, a base hit for Moritz. Nearly got Ingles. Dragons get their 3rd hit. It's a leadoff single by Moe. Now Zach Baxley, a strikeout victim his first time. Bax was fed a steady diet of breaking stuff. The home run he hit yesterday was a dead red fastball. After Baxley, it's McGuire and then Reitz. Ground ball, deep short. It's into left field for a hit. Moritz will stop at second. And just like an inning or 2 innings ago, the Dragons have 2 on to start. Old school baseball would dictate a bunt right here, but this is the grip it and rip it era. McGuire, a sacrifice fly, scored Zion Bolin with the 2nd run, so no official time at bat, but he does have an RBI. McGuire's 25th run driven into the year. The pitch in the dirt. Good stop by Cameron Tilley. That's ball 1 to McGuire. Will Reitz on deck. Not 100% sure of the extent of the injury in terms of time of duration. He's going to be out for Jeremiah Caesar, but I don't expect to see him here in Wichita. Fastball misses high, 2-0 to McGuire. It looks like the Colby bullpen is about ready to jump into action. And it does. A right-hander. High fly ball down the right field line. Several giving chase, and nobody will get to it. It lands foul. Nathan Stark starts to loosen up in the Colby pen, throwing back of Ingles. Ingles right now, 3+ innings, 2 runs allowed, 4 hits. Right now the Dragons just looking to string good at-bats together. You do that, usually good things happen. Yesterday was prime example of that. The pitch in the dirt. Another stop by Tilley. Snap throw to first, and it nearly gets away from the first baseman. Wow. Great play by first baseman Tyler Mcwilley. He had to lean over Baxley to stop that. High chopper, that is a fair ball down the line. 1 run will score. Baxley will be held at third. It's an RBI double for McGuire, and the Dragons have cut the 6-run deficit in half. It's now 6-3. A high chopper. That was a turf double. It went right over the third baseman, Kootenai. And it landed squarely on the foul line, which is fair. So Baxley goes first to third. Moritz scores. Second RBI of the night for McGuire. And now Will Reitz. And he's the tying run. Second and third. Nobody out here in the bottom of the fourth. Reitz takes a strike inside corner. Good pitch from Ingles. Will currently in the middle with 0 for 34. Fouls that back, and it's 0-2. He put a good swing on his first at-bat. Fly ball to fairly deep center. Will seen his average drop almost 65 points. The pitch. Called strike 3 on a curveball. That's one away. Reitz just gave up on the pitch, and it caught the inside corner at the knees. One away. Now it's back to the top of the order. Logan Sartori hitting for the third time. Tripled and then flew out to right. Yesterday, Logan hit everything on the ground and hard and came up with a 3-hit afternoon. Swings on that changeup from Ingles. And the Dragons simply not showing the discipline they showed yesterday. But they're back into this one now. Would love to get at least one more out of this, if not two. The pitch. Pulled foul. Now Sartori hits from an 0-2 hole. Logan thinks about it. Ingles has gone a lot off speed up in the count. Need to protect that, and if it's on the outer half, drive it the other way. The Trojans are going to give up a run on a ground ball opportunity. They play deep. High pop. Drifting back is Perez. Now the right fielder Evans coming in to make the catch. And a not so good at bat for Sartori. Fly ball to shallow right. He's now 1 for 3. And now it's going to take a 2-out hit from Nedved. This promises, or this is looking like, I shouldn't say promises, but this looks like maybe a potential momentum switching inning back to the Trojans if they can get out of this. Dragons with 1 across in the inning. Fastball outside to Nedved. Moritz singled, Baxley singled. McGuire with a double down the line drove in Moritz. Then Reitz struck out and Sartori hits a shallow fly to right. Nedved checks his swing, and it's 2-0. Play the home half of the fourth. The Dragons will get the last at bat in this one. 2-0 pitch. Big cut on a changeup. That's a gutsy pitch from Ingles. And Nedved fed right into it. Now it's 2-1. That one's grounded up the middle. Gallagher gets to it behind the bag. Throws low, and it's past the first baseman. This is going to score 2 runs. And Nedved will go to second on the error. It'll be a... And it's now 6-5. Slowly hit ball by Nedved. Gallagher fielded it. So 2 runs come across. It'll be an error, no RBI, but 2 runs come across. And it's ball 1 to Zane Schmidt. I'm not 100% sure. They haven't cleared the scoreboard yet. Here's the pitch. Hard hit ball, foul just outside of first. We'll see if Scott Birch will give us the count. So the Dragons have now scored 5 unanswered since Colby built a 6-run lead. Still waiting on the official count. It is 0-2. Dragons now with 5 hits. Nedved the tying run at second base. The pitch. That one just misses. Ingles was running off the field. Now he's going to have to go back. He thought he had him. Three runs in the inning. Never say die Dragons. The pitch. In the dirt. Did he go around? And they throw down to first to complete the strikeout. Evidently he did go around and the inning is over. No signal from the umpire, so I wasn't sure. But it goes as a strikeout and the 2-3 put out at first. But the Dragons get back into it. 3 more runs in the inning. A big error aided the cause. Dragons strand 1. And after 4, our new score, Colby 6 and the Dragons 5. Welcome back to Eck Stadium in Wichita, everybody. Steve Carpenter with you on the Blue Dragon Sports Network. Zach Philbin goes to work against the meat of the Colby order, Kootenai, Tilley, and Evans, 3, 4, and 5. Dragons back within 1 now, it's 6-5. 1 run in each the first and second innings and 3 runs in the fourth. 2 of them unearned, but they still count. Philbin worked a spotless 4th. Slider from Philbin, a strike. Kootenai has walked and singled, scored a run. L.J. McDonough started, went 2/3 of an inning. Matt Hopkins 2 1/3, gave up 1 run, struck out 4. Now Philbin into his second inning. The big lefty kicks and fires. High chopper fielded by Baxley. He'll lead Philbin to the bag. Zach gets the bag, then slips. He should be okay. The out is recorded. 1 out here in the top of the 5th. We saw a play last inning where Zach was late getting off the mound, and Baxley made a diving stop going away from the bag, regained his feet, and won the race to the bag for an out. So the putout goes 3-1. Now Tilley. 2 flyouts, 1 to center and 1 to left. 0 for 2. Philbin misses low and away. Lights now on at Eck Stadium. Really haven't taken full effect yet. The pitch. Nasty fastball inside corner at the knees. A strike called, and it's 1-1. That pitch was most likely unhittable until he offered. Took something off of it, swung through a miss, and it's 1-2 now to Tilley. Working exclusively out of the stretch. Philbin now steps off momentarily. Eck Stadium, one of the great college baseball parks in the country. Back in the old days when Joe Carter played here, fans used to sit on flatbed trailers with bleachers on top of them. 1-2 pitch. Rounded slowly up the middle. Sartori reaches it, throws to first, but the throw is wide. That'll be a single. Great effort by Sartori to get to it, but he had no chance to get Tilley. A one-out single here in the fifth, and that'll bring up right fielder Jason Evans. Evans walked and scored in the first, struck out to open the third, 0 for 1. Strike called. The Blue Dragons have rolled 4 double plays in the postseason. Hitting .289 in postseason play. This is their 5th postseason game. The pitch. High chopper to second. Sartori fields on the short hop. Looks at second, but will make the sure out at first. Smart play by Logan. They didn't have a very good chance to get Tilley at second. So Sartori, who had a tough play with the runner bearing down on him, also having to field the short hop. Makes the proper play. Now a runner at second, 2 away for Blake Gallagher. Gallagher, a sacrifice fly in the first. He doubled in the third. Hits now tied 5 apiece. The pitch. Over but low ball 1. Three of those runs put up by Colby in the first scored with 2 out. Let me check that. I'm not sure that's 100% sure or correct. It is. The pitch. Fastball inside corner at the knees for a strike, and it's 1-1. Max McGuire drops the sign. The big lefty comes set. Philbin checks the runner at second, now delivers. Hot shot to Nedved. He has it on 1 hop. Long throw, got him, and the inning is over. 2 strong innings out of the pen by Zach Philbin. No runs, a hit, 1 left, halfway through here in Wichita. It's the Trojans 6 and the Dragons 5. Once again, our congratulations to Blue Dragons sophomore hammer thrower Hannah Smith, finishing 3rd at the national championships today with the school record throw of 180 feet and change. So it's a nice way to start Pat Becker's 34th and final outdoor track championship. The Hall of Fame head coach retiring this year. The Dragons just announced the hiring of Robert Spees as the new Blue Dragon coach. Line drive right field, Riley Metzger. That's a base hit. It got out to Tayson Evans so fast, he thought about trying to get Metzger at first. But Metzger gets his second hit in 3 trips. He represents the tying run, and Zion Bolin the batter. Zion has walked and scored and grounded out to short. Everybody's still talking about that great catch to open up the Fort Scott game yesterday, robbing that home run. Strike at the knees and off-speed pitch from Ingles. Ingles now 4+ innings, 68 pitches, 43 for strikes. Working out of the stretch, the pitch. A little bit high to Bolin, and it's 1-1. Dragon golfers down in Florida. Not a real great day today. They sit in the 2nd division. I believe Charlie Herbert is still in the top 20 individually. Big swing by Zion. He fouls it back to the netting. Didn't miss by much, but he hits out of an 0-2 hole. And again, if the Dragons have their good hitting approach on, they're going to think their way through this. Up in the count, Ingles has gone to a lot of off-speed stuff. Let's see if he continues that pattern. Up in the count, 1-2 on Zion Bolin. Grounded up the middle. This could be 2. Fielded by Gallagher. He steps on the bag for 1 on the first double play. Zion tried to pull an outside pitch, and that's usually what happens. So the leadoff single by Metzger erased. Bases empty. 2 away for Ryan Moritz. Moritz has been on base twice. He walked in the 2nd, singled and scored in the 4th. Ingles pitch in the dirt, ball 1. See if Zach Philbin comes out for another inning. Late swing by Moan. He fouls it off over the Colby bullpen, which is normally the home of the Shocker opponents. That's all switching next year. The pitch. High and tight to Moore. It's 2-1. The pitch. 3-1 to Moritz. 3-1. Trying to yell over to the sound box, or the sound room. Moritz slices that one foul, now it's full. Weather is supposed to be okay tomorrow. Saturday's problematic. 3-2, 2 out. Bases empty here in the bottom of the 5th. Ingles into the wind. The payoff pitch to Moritz. Low ball 4. Second walk by Moritz, and then that ties Zane Schmidt for the team high at 39 walks. Zach Baxley, the batter. Bax 1 for 2. He singled and scored in the 4th. Zach had a sac fly yesterday that kind of seemingly pulled him back into the groove. Swings through that one. It gets through the catcher, and Moritz will move up to 2nd on the pass ball. Baxley had a mighty cut at that one, but it got through Tilly. Now the tying run stands in scoring position with 2 outs. The pitch. Off speed, misses low and a little bit in. Count now 1-1 to Baxley. The pitch. That one's through the catcher again, and Moritz moves up to third. This one a wild pitch, and the count's 2-1. So a pass ball and a wild pitch have Moritz over to third after the walk. And it's a 2-1 count on Baxley, the pitch. Zach takes a mighty cut and misses, and now it's 2-2. Both fans employing their respective teams to do what's necessary. Dragons would love to get that tying run in from third. The pitch. Low. Full count to Baxley. 82nd pitch by Peyton Ingles. Dragons now have out-hit Colby 6-5. Here's the payoff to Baxley. Low ball 4 in the dirt till he stops this one. So Baxley comes back from being down in the count to drawing a 2-out walk. And now Max McGuire, who has 2 RBIs, a sac fly in the second and an RBI double, a turf double, that bounced right over third baseman Matt Kootenay's head and landed squarely on the line. That drove in a run. That made it at the time 6-3. Ingles back in the stretch, the pitch. Outside a fastball. No pitch at 87. Right-hander continues to throw in the Colby bullpen. Here's the pitch. High chopper to third, fielded by Kootenay. On to first in time, and the Dragons can't quite get the 2-out magic finish. No runs, no hits, 2 left. After 5 innings here in Wichita, it's the Trojans 6 and the Dragons 5. Through 5 at the Central District Championship at Eck Stadium in Wichita. Steve Carpenter with you on the Blue Dragon Sports Network. Denny Steckline will be back with me tomorrow. He is taking care of a little third Thursday business downtown with the Hutchinson Monarchs. Zach Philbin goes back to work for his third inning. He's thrown 2 scoreless, allowed just 1 hit. He's a third Hutchinson pitcher. Dragons trail this after a half inning, 6-0. They've scored 5 unanswered. It'll be the bottom third of the order for the Trojans, Zadunich, Mcwilley, and Cornell. 1 strikeout over his first 2 innings for Zach Philbin. Time called, and now everybody resets. Changeup swung on and missed. Zadunas is hit by a pitch and scored ahead of Mcwilley's home run. And then he popped up to shortstop Dylan Nedved. The 0-1. Great pitch from Philbin. A strike at the knees. 0-2. That was a waste pitch outside. Didn't even come close. Philbin, 21 pitches, 16 for strikes. That's an excellent ratio for that young man. 1-2. Fly ball to right toward the line. Bolin coming on, making the catch on the run, and there's one away. Now Tyler Mcwilley. His home run is the difference right now. The 3-run home run. Was one of only 3 hits allowed by Matt Hopkins. But right now, that 3-run home run, the difference in this one. The pitch. Just off the plate, wide, ball 1 to Mcwilley. Dragons with single runs in the first and second, and then 3 in the fourth. 2 of the runs unearned. Philbin finds the zone with a strike at the knees, a fastball. And the count evens at 1-1 to Mcwilley. The pitch. Over at low, 2-1. Mcwilley had 3 pinch hit performances in the regular season series. Went 0 for 3. Swung on and missed, and it's 2-2. Looked like Zach took something off that offering. Big lefty comes, set, and delivers. Called strike 3 right down the middle. 2 away here in the 6th for Reese Cornell. Cornell was hitting in the leadoff spot the entire regular season series. That was with the absence of Jacob Buzide. Now hitting in the 9 slot in the postseason. Cornell tonight 0 for 2 with a pair of swinging strikeouts. The pitch. Low and away, ball 1. Dragons did not have to dip into the pen yesterday in that 5-inning victory. Skillman went the distance. Nasty slider with late movement, swung through and missed, and it's 1-1. The pitch. Bounce right side, fielded by Baxley. The race to the bag. Philbin goes down. We hope he's okay. Bax wins the race to the bag, and it's a 1-2-3-6 for the Trojans. That's the second time Zach's gone down. But he's up, getting high fives from everybody. 3 up and 3 down for the Trojans in the 6th. We head to the bottom of the frame. Dragons trail Colby 6-5. Colby coach Ryan Carter goes to the bullpen and brings in Nathan Stark. Stark on for the 14th time, just fourth out of the pen. 7-3 record with a 4.18 ERA. 47 in the third innings pitched. Stark has given up 31 hits, 26 runs. He has struck out 50 and walked 28. So Ryan Carter rolling out his better arms to try to keep the Dragons at arm's length. Will reach the batter 0 for 2. Flew out to fairly deep center and struck out looking his last time up. First pitch from Stark is low and outside, ball 1. Stark made one appearance and took a loss in the regular season series. Will Reed's hit with the pitch for a conference-leading 26th time. And he is the tying run with the top of the order coming around. That's a good sign if you're a Blue Dragon. Second batter to be plunked tonight by Colby pitching. Here's Sartori. The line on Peyton Ingles, 5 innings, 6 hits, 5 runs, 3 earned, 4 strikeouts, 4 walks, 2 wild pitches, and a hit batter. Sartori has a big cut and fouls it back to the netting. Much prefer the approach Logan took yesterday with all those hard-hit ground balls. And the Dragons playing just their second true night game of the year. Here's the pitch. That pitch misses high, and it's 1-1 to Sartori. They finished with several games under the lights. But in terms of a true night game, which is 6 p.m. or after, just their second one of the year. That's another statistical anomaly that I have to be aware of. The 1-1 Sartori. Hit a mile high to left center. It's Zadunich camping under it, and he has it for out number 1. So Sartori unable to move the runner for the second straight at bat. And now it's Nedved. Nedved has popped up and hit by a pitch and reached on an error. That allowed runs 4 and 5 to score. He had a ground ball to shortstop Blake Gallagher, who then threw wide of the bag, and that allowed 2 runs to score and the Dragons to pull within the current margin of 1 at 6-5. Stark's pitch. It's popped up. It'll get out of play off to our right. Baseball's a strange game. You have all the great at-bats yesterday that you had. A little more than 24 hours later. Admittedly, you're facing different pitchers. But one's mentality changes from day to day. Well, that's the human nature of the game. Flared foul off out of play to the right. Now Nedved hits from an 0-2 hole. Zane Schmidt waiting on deck. Again, recapping if you just joined us, Butler and Fort Scott are out. Johnson County and Cloud County survived the elimination games today. The 0-2. Struck him out on a high fastball, 2 away. The Dragons have gotten the leadoff man aboard in each of the last 2 innings. They failed in the 5th. Hutch has had the leadoff man aboard in 5 of the 6 innings. Now it's going to take a 2-out hit from Zane Schmidt. A former Little League World Series participant for Kearney, Nebraska. Now the question, or the trivia question is, how many Little League World Series players have been Blue Dragons? Here's the pitch to Schmidt. Change up in for a strike. There have been two. Zane Schmidt and Bobby Moretti played a few years back for the Blue Dragons. Dragons own two Little League World Series participants in their all-time roster that we know of. Here's the 0-1. Fastball misses low and outside. The count even at 1-1. Again, Stark had one of the four losses in that series sweep by the Blue Dragons a few weeks ago. The 1-1 to Schmidt. Hit right to short. Gallagher has it. Well, races to the bag. Now throws to first because he couldn't get to the bag. Schmidt is retired, and the Dragons miss on another opportunity with the leadoff man aboard. No runs, no hits, one left. The Dragons have stranded 7 through 6 innings. We head to the 7th inning here in Wichita. Colby 6 and the Dragons 5. Big inning for Zach Philbin and the Blue Dragons. We go to the 7th here at Eck Stadium, the Central District Tournament Winners Bracket semifinal. The winner gets Cali tomorrow at 4. Philbin will face the top of the order, Boozide, Perez, Kootenai, and then Tilley. Jacob Boozide 1 for 3, led off the game with a home run, one of 2 home runs hit in that first inning. The other a 3-run home run by Mcwilley. That's a check swing foul to start the 7th. Philbin, just 1 hit allowed over 2 innings. Has a strikeout. The lefty kinks and fires and throws a nasty little slider for a strike that swung on and missed by Boozide. Hutch is out, hit Colby now 6-5. One time it was 5-1 against the pitch. Ooh, not sure where that missed. Great 0-2 pitch from Philbin. You put it right there again, you might get that call. The 1-2 delivery. Slider. Shot up the middle in the center for a base hit. That slider wasn't nearly as sharp, and it hung up, and a 1-2 pitch hit into center field for a leadoff single for Boozide for his second hit of the game. Now Ryan Schmidt comes out of the dugout, and I think we're going to have a pitching change. It looked like Ryan Summers had been down there. So, I'm not seeing the signal. Whoever is in the pen, I think it is Summers, is ready to head out if the signal is made. And the call to the bullpen has been made. We'll tell you about the new Dragon pitcher all right after this break. It is Cade Fenton out of the pen for the Blue Dragons. Fenton, a hard-throwing freshman, another one of the power arms. Note from Dan Nacarado. Appreciate the word, Coach Knack. Indeed, you might have been right. So Philbin comes out after a leadoff single, and Caden Fenton comes in. Fenton a 1-2 record with a 3.95 ERA on for the 14th time, 13 2/3 innings pitched. Just 8 hits allowed, 14 runs, 6 earned. Struck out 20 and walked 15, and opponents hitting 246 against. He comes in with a big insurance run for Colby at first base, nobody out. Top of the 7th, Colby leading Hutchinson 6-5. The batter will be Enoch Perez in a likely bunt situation. Third baseman Ryan Moritz still playing back of third. Runner goes, pitches a ball, the throw down is high, and the runner's in safely, so it was a straight steal. So now, likely a bunt situation with Perez with Buzide at second with nobody out. Fenton's 1-0. In there for a strike. A change up at 78, or actually that's his 12-6 curveball. That fastball misses high at 91. Dragons have a collection of power pitchers. Collectively pretty good bullpen. Runner goes, and the pitch is fouled off, and Cade Fenton caught a break there. Buzide had a great jump, and he would have stolen it off of Fenton. Fenton has had problems holding runners on. He's better than 1.7 to the plate, 1.7 seconds to the plate, which is not good. Now 2-2 pitch. Bounces in. Nice block by Max McGuire to keep Buzide at second. Hits now tied 6 apiece. Dragons have stranded 7 tonight. Colby 3. The 2-2 pitch. Fouled out of play to the right. Scoreboard's got 3-2. I've got 2-2. Don't think I missed a pitch.
I don't know. I'm just doing what they said. Because I wasn't paying attention.
Fenton checks the runner at second. Here's the 3-2, or the 2-2. It was 3-2, so that's a walk. So 2 on, nobody out to start the 7th for Colby. And the game could be in the balance now with Kootenai, Tilley, and Evans coming up. Old Jay McDonough worked 2/3 of an inning. Matt Hopkins, 2 1/3. Zach Philbin, 2+. Now Fenton facing his second batter, the ever dangerous Matt Kootenai. 6-5 Colby, top of the 7th. Here's the pitch. Ground ball left side, that's in for a hit. Buzide will be waved. Now Riley has a problem in left. And a runner advances. So an RBI single for Kootenai makes it 7-5, and then the error on Metzger allows Perez to go to third. Now the Dragons trail it by 2. Now Cameron Tilley. The game's still within reach of the Dragons. Pitch in the dirt. Dragons commit their first error. Still nobody out here in the 7th. Now Ryan Summers throwing in the pen. That pitch low and outside from Fenton. And here comes Ryan Schmidt. Right now the wheels at work. Colby with one here in the 7th to make it 7-5. If this score were to stay the same, for the Blue Dragons to come back and win, they would have to win 2 tomorrow, 2 on Saturday, and then the if game on Sunday. That's how important this game is. Last year they lost in the winner's bracket semifinal and came back around through the bracket, winning 3 straight losers games, eventually losing to Barton 8-0 in the losers bracket final. Barton then went on to beat Cali twice in the finals to advance to Grand Junction. So it's a 1-0 count to Cameron Tilley. Cade Fenton's going to stay in the game. Middle infield on this turf playing back as his third baseman, Ryan Moritz. They'll give up a run for a double play. The 1-0 pitch, foul tipped at the plate, may have gotten a piece of Max McGuire. He's okay, and now it's 1-1 the count to Cameron Tilley. 2-1 the count. Here's the pitch. In the dirt again, now 3-1, another good stop. So our scoreboard operator's struggling a little bit. He's been over there for a couple of games. It gets a little bit tedious when you work 3 and 4 games in a row. 3-1 pitch. Pulled foul, full count. Dragons can ill afford to let any more in. Already one across in the inning. Still nobody out runners at the corners here in the 7th. Dragons still have 3 at-bats remaining. They will be the home team and get the last at-bat. Payoff pitch, runner goes from first, outside, ball 4. And the bases are loaded with nobody out and already a run across. 2 singles and 2 walks in the inning. And as well as everything went in the Dragons' favor 24 hours ago, it's far from that tonight. Now Jason Evans, the right fielder. Corners in for the Dragons. They'll come home on a ground ball. The middle infielders, Sartori and Nedved, will turn 2 in the middle and give up a run. Fenton's pitch. Big cut by Evans. It's miss for strike 1. Fenton out of the windup, the pitch. Big curveball misses outside. And now it's 1-1 to Evans. The pitch. Pulled foul outside of first. Actually toward the Dragon dugout. Now Fenton up in the count on Evans. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Game 3 minutes shy of 2 hours old. Lights have now taken full effect here at Eck Stadium. Fenton needs a strikeout. Time called. Now we're ready to go to work. The pitch. Called strike 3. Dropped a changeup in there and caught Evans looking. One away now for shortstop Blake Gallagher. Gallagher 1 for 2 with the sacrifice fly in the first. He doubled in the third. Fenton's delivery. Lifted down the right field line. Nobody will get to it, and it drops foul. The Dragons can get out of this without yielding any more runs. 1, they'll feel fortunate. 2, they're still in this game with 3 at-bats to go. The pitch. In the dirt, 1-1. Ben's pitch. Another breaking pitch in the dirt, blocked by McGuire. 2-1 the count. Two-one pitch, swung through a miss. Good fastball at 90 from Fenton, and it's 2-2. The one thing you cannot consistently do to an offense like Colby's is work from behind in the count. They will make you pay. 2-2 pitch. Struck him out. First base occupied, so the out's automatic. Now 2 away. Here's left fielder Tucker Zadunich. Zadunich was hit by a pitch and scored in the first. Popped up and flown out to right 0 for 2. Now we're at that danger zone with 2 outs. Infield deep at all 4 positions for the Blue Dragons. Pitch to Zadunich way outside. Nice stop by Max McGuire. He had to lunge out of his stance to save that one. When one gets by you here at Eck Stadium, it's not coming back. There's padding that usually gobbles up everything. The pitch. In on the fist, foul back. Good pitch from Fenton, and 1-1. If it hits off the base, there's a chance that the ball could kick back. 1-1 pitch in the dirt again. Another good stop by McGuire. Right now, command of the curveball, evading Cade Fenton. His 2-1 pitch. Ground ball past the diving Nedved into center, a base hit. 1 run scores. Here comes Kootenai to score. The throw to third, not in time. And it's a 2-out, 2-run single. And it's now a 4-run deficit for the Dragons. More 2-out trouble for Hutchinson. Zadunich comes through in the clutch. He takes second on the throw. And now Tyler Mcwilley, the batter. Till he goes first to third, Kootenai and Perez both score. The pitch. Off speed for a strike. Now 0-2. That pitch misses. High chopper. Deep, short, fielded by Moritz. The throw. Got him! What a play by Moritz in deep third. shows a strong arm. One hops it over to Baxley, and the inning is over. But big damage for Colby in the seventh. 3 runs, 3 hits. There was an error, and 2 left on. 7th inning stretch time here at Eck Stadium. Our new score, Trojans 9 and the Dragons 5. Two-out runs continue to haunt the Blue Dragons in 2019. That is now 5 of them tonight. And it's a 4-run deficit. Blue Dragons with 3 at-bats, now trailing 9-5. And Nate Stark has a little bit of cushion to work with. He entered the game in the 6th after 5 innings by Peyton Ingalls. Ryan Carter using one of his starters to try to close this thing out and get to the winner's bracket final. It'll be Riley Metzger, Zion Bolin, and Ryan Moritz, the middle third of the Dragon order. 9 runs, 8 hits, 1 error, 5 left on for Colby. 5 runs, 6 hits, 1 error, 7 left on for Hutchinson. Metzger 2 for 3, a single, a double, and a strikeout. He gets jammed and fouls it back to the net to start the 7th. This sweep in the regular season means nothing in this game. Metzger hits one a mile high, shallow toward the line in left field. It's Tucker Zadunich fighting it, and he makes the catch, having to lean out to get it. So another high fly ball out that does nothing for Hutchinson. 1 away here in the 7th for Zion Bolin. 0 for 2 at the walk is Bolin. He walked and scored in the 2nd. Scored on McGuire's sac fly. Bolin takes a pitch high, ball 1. Fastball at 87. Royals a 15-1 loser today as the Rangers on getaway day. Zion takes a mighty hack and misses. Right now the Dragons simply need base runners. Dragons got to Stark hard in the regular season, but again, that was a few weeks ago. Colby right now playing very confident baseball. They're 3-0 in the postseason. Swept Coffeyville out at Colby. Pitch outside, 2-1 to Bolin. 3-1, check that. So my computer says. Stark winds and fires. Strike at the letters, full count now to Zion. We're due a payoff. Here it is. That's ripped to center field. Is they going to hang up for Cornell? And it does. Out number one. Bowen hit it on the screws, but lined it right to the center fielder. One away for Ryan Moritz. Moritz has been on base all 3 times for the Dragons. Walked in the second, singled and scored in the fourth, walked in the fifth. Dragons have now been out hit 8-6. Mo first pitch swings and fouls it back. Pretty good swing. Blue Dragon Golf will close out the 2019 National Championships tomorrow. That pitch misses. And it's 1-1. Mo takes a pitch over, but low, and it's 2-1. Now the 2-1 pitch. Mo fouls it back, and it's 2-2. Mo's had some good swings tonight. He one of the few Blue Dragons tonight showing the same plate discipline that the entire team showed yesterday against Fort Scott. Two-two pitch. Hard hit ground ball to third. Kootenai has it on a knee, throws it across. Low throw. Dug out at first by Mcwilley. And it's a 1-2-3 7th inning for the Blue Dragons. We head to the 8th. Dragons trail Colby 9-5. Couple of big innings by Colby. 6 in the first, 3 in the 7th. Have the Blue Dragons looking up at a 9-5 deficit with just 2 at-bats to go. If this score stays the same, we'll be back with you at 12:45 tomorrow afternoon in an elimination game against Cloud County. If the Dragons somehow come back late, they'll play at 4 against Cali, but that's where Colby would also like to be, and they're in the driver's seat right now. Reese Cornell leads off the 8th. Ball got loose from the Dragon bullpen. It's been retrieved. Now we can get to work. Cali advanced to the winner's bracket final with a 10-2 7-inning win over Barton earlier tonight. Ball 1
to Cornell. Cade Fenton back out on the mound. Or check that. Nope, Zach Furniture into the game. My apologies. Missed that. So Furniture making his first appearance of the postseason. Facing Cornell. Firm had a strong first half of the season, has tailed off since. Good off-speed offering. Swung on a miss, and it's 1-2. Zach Furniture out of Omaha, 1-2 record, 5.0 ERA, 18th appearance. 18 innings pitched. Does have 3 saves. He's been slotted into the closer's role. It's lined up the middle, down for a hit. So 1-2 offering, and that's the part that's killed Firm down the stretch. Having advantage counts and giving up hits. That 1-2 delivery was a solid strike up the middle by Cornell. And the Trojans have another leadoff man aboard. Now Jacob Buzide. Buzide 2 for 4. Homer to lead off the game, then singled and scored in the 7th. Pitch a little bit tight for ball 1. We've reached game 8 of the tournament. 4 games tomorrow. 10-1, 4-7. 3 teams will go home. Already 2 have left. The pitch. Did he bunt through it for a strike? He did. Buzide couldn't pull back and chase the pitch out of the zone, and now it's 1-1. Colby over the years under Ryan Carter, a very good bunting team. Not so much in 2019. They're really grip it and rip it philosophy as well. The pitch. Over a bit low from Furniture. 2-1. Quite likely, whatever game the Blue Dragons play in tomorrow, Dylan Nedved will be the starting pitcher. 2-1 pitch. Pitch inside, snap throw to first, diving stop by Baxley. And that saved a minimum of 1 base and likely 2. Not only does it angle out down there, but that opening into the bullpen would have been an extra base. Now the 3-1 pitch, ball 4. So I say again, as great and as everything that went in the favor of the Blue Dragons 24 hours ago against Fort Scott, it's a complete 180 tonight. 2 on, nobody out, with Enoch Perez stepping to the plate. The 2-hole hitter for the Trojans has walked twice, struck out, and grounded out 0 for 2. A dangerous hitter. The pitch. Off speed in for a strike, inner half. Over this tournament's history, minus the years of 2010, 11, and 12, and only 4 teams made it to Wichita. This tournament's gone to the if game all but 3 times. Breaking pitch just missed wide. And it's 1-1. Furniture 155 pounds, but he does have a lively fastball. He's lost some confidence with that fastball as of late. He's lost command of his secondary pitches as well. That pitch in the dirt, nice stop by McGuire. Now it's 2-1, so the Dragons now routinely pitching from behind in counts to a very dangerous bunch of Colby hitters. Colby's never been to the JUCO World Series. They got to the Region 6 finals once, a couple of years back. Ground ball to second. Sartori gets right through him, flipped to second out of time. Now the throw gets away from Sartori, but no further advancement. So an error on Sartori on what could have been a double play ball. Second error of the game for the Blue Dragons. And this one is starting to get away. Not only did Sartori misfield the ball, he nearly threw it away. But Cornell didn't see it in time to go from third to home. So now Perez at first, Buzite at second, Cornell at third, and Kootenai the batter. Kootenai's last time up an RBI single that started that 3-run seventh. Now a chance for the Trojans to take charge. Nobody out in the inning. That's one's popped foul out of play. Good location from Furniture in on the hands. If you're going to go inside to Matt Kootenai, you better jam him like that. If you leave it remotely out over the inner half, one of the best clutch hitters of the last 10 years in the Jayhawk Conference is going to make you pay. Furniture working out of the stretch. The pitch. Foul back. 0-2 the count. Normally, if we're on regular schedule this tournament, this would be the Saturday night games, but we are on Thursday, a week later. Always had the last week open with Lawrence Dumont. 0-2 pitch. Just missed outside. It was outside. I've got to look right over the plate at my vantage point here in the press box. 1-2 the count to Matt Kootenai. Cameron Tilley on deck. Right now, that 3, 4, 5, 6 slot in the Colby order are murderer's row. Furniture steps off, not sure about the offering he was about to make. Now Max McGuire is going to go out to make sure everybody's on the same page. Cloud County beat Butler 15-2 in 5. Johnson County rallied for a 9-8 win walk-off style over Fort Scott. And Cowley run ruled Barton in 7 innings, 10-2. Right now the Dragons starting to get into danger territory against. Last night we were joking around about the run rules and not talking about them. Here's a pitch. Curveball just missed. That was a little bit closer than the one before. Now it's 2-2. The game in the balance right here, a 4-run deficit. One swing of the bat can get you back in the game. The pitch. Same location, same call. Now it's 3-2. Where that The 0-2 was outside. Perhaps the 1-2 and 2-2 were just a little bit low because they were over the outside corner. We can see in and out great up here, up and down a little different. Now the payoff. Outside, ball 4. From 0-2 to a bases loaded walk, a run scores. Cornell comes down the line, and it is now 10-5. For the moment, an unearned run. Here's Cameron Tilley. 4 home runs in his last 6 games, a 2-home run game last night against Johnson County. Walked his last time up. Tilley's 1 for 3. A 5th inning single. And it hit him with the bases loaded, and another run will score. Now 11-5. Here comes Ryan Schmidt. And we'll have another pitching change. We'll tell you about the new Dragon pitcher after the break. Hutchinson now trailing Colby 11-5. Lefty Matt Delcom takes over on the mound. He becomes the 5th Blue Dragon pitcher of the night. Check that, 6th pitcher of the night. LJ McDonough goes 2/3. Matt Hopkins 2 1/3. Zach Philbin 3+. Cade Fenton inning. Zach Furniture unable to record an out in 5 batters. And now Matt Delcom inherits a bases-loaded jam with nobody out here in the 8th. 2 already across. And Hutchinson trailing Colby 11-5. Run rules here in the tournament are aligned with Grand Junction. 10 after 5, 8 after 7. The Dragons will still have an at-bat. But right now they can ill afford to let 2 more runs score, or they could be facing a run rule themselves. McDonough Delcom a 1-1 record on for the 12th time, 9th in relief. 5.14 ERA, 21 innings pitched, 12 hits, 21 runs. He has struck out 30 but walked 24. And opponents hitting .249 against. So now he'll face right fielder Jason Evans. Bases loaded, nobody out. Here in the top of the 8th. Nasty pitch from Delcom, slider at 75. Swung on and missed by Evans, and it's 0-1. Here's the 1-0 from Delcom. The one's hit toward the gap, right center field. Bolin and reach on the run. Zion Bolin chases it down. Tagging from third is Perez. He will score to make it 12-5. Also moving from second to third is Kootenai now with 1 out. Tilley at first. Kootenai at third. A double play would get the Dragons out of it. Blake Gallagher, the batter. He struck out his last time, 1 for 3. He had a sac fly in the first for an RBI. Pitch in the dirt. The throw to second. Did they get him? Yes! Logan Sartori applies the tag. So Max McGuire throws out the runner Tilley. Now there's 2 away. And it's not a caught stealing, just out trying to advance as he tried to move up on the wild pitch. No wild pitch now charged to Delcom as the out was recorded. The pitch. Fastball from Delcom, a strike. No balls, 2 strikes to count. The pitch. Outside. 1-2. "12-5 Colby. The hands fouled back. Delcom transferred in from Louisiana Tech. Thought it was 2-2. Now the 2-2 pitch from Delcom. High pop to left, shallow. In comes Metzger. He's got it, and the inning is over. Nice job by Matt Delcom coming in a tough situation. Allows one inherited runner to score. Colby comes up with 3 runs on just 1 hit. There was 1 error and 1 left on base. We go to the bottom of the 8th inning. New score, Colby 12 and the Dragons 5. Some good news to report from Hobbs, New Mexico. The Blue Dragon men's 4x800 relay finishes 8th in the nation. Brett Hillebrand, Connor Kaufman, Tony Ibarra, and Jason Luft scoring the first men's points of the national championships. Don't have a time reported on Twitter, but congratulations to those 4. Bottom of the 8th. This one will go the duration now. Colby can no longer run rule Hutchinson. As Hutch has the last at bats, and it's strike 1 to Zach Baxley to open the bottom of the 8th. Baxley 1 for 2, a strikeout, a walk on a run, or a single on the run scored, and a walk. Stark back out for the Colby Trojans. Interesting to see how Ryan Carter will play his pitching staff now. There's a big cut and a miss by Baxley, and it's 1-2. Stark likely, had things gone normally, probably would have been the starter tomorrow afternoon in the winner's bracket final against Cowley. The pitch. Called strike 3 right down the chute. 1 away here in the 8th. Now 2 1/3 innings for Stark, 2 strikeouts, He is not allowed a hit or a run or a walk. In fact, he has retired 9 in a row after hitting Will Reitz to start the 6th. Now McGuire hits bases empty, 1 away. Pitch taken upstairs, ball 1. Again, it's amazing how 24 hours can change in the game of baseball. Strike outside corner at the belt. Good fastball from Stark, and it's 1-1. Colby bullpen quiet. This game is Stark's to finish out. He would be, for the innings he's thrown now, just 30 pitches. They still might use him tomorrow if he gets out of this relatively efficient. That breaking pitch in the dirt. 2-1 to McGuire. After McGuire, it's Will Reitz. The Dragons now without starting pitcher Jake Bunds, now without starting center fielder Jeremiah Caesar. Pitch high and tight for a ball, 3-1. So the injury bug affecting the way Ryan Schmidt's having to put his lineup out, and especially his pitching rotation. That was the question all along coming into the first 2 days of the tournament. Low ball 4, good at bat for McGuire. He draws a 1-out walk. And Will Reitz will stand in. Reitz has flown out, been caught looking on strikes, and wore a pitcher the 26th leading time in the 6th. 5th and 6th innings could be the downfall of the Hutchinson Blue Dragons. You can talk about the innings they gave up runs, but as they were coming back in the game, they were down 6-0. A foul tip into the glove of Tilling at strike 1 to Reitz. Dragons had leadoff men aboard in the 5th and 6th and were unable to move them. And that's when the game was a 1-run game. Pitch outside of fastball, 1-1 to Reitz. For as big-time offense as the Dragons have been in 2019, the overall team batting average well down the list of all-time season batting averages in Blue Dragon history. Pitched over but low, 2-1 now to Reitz. This team will finish wherever, even if somehow they would get to Grand Junction. This team will finish in the bottom 10 all time and sacrifice bunts for a season. They would have to go ways to get out of the top 10. They would need 11 more. And one slice foul by Reitz, and it's 2-2. The running game has disappeared. They ran a lot, did the Blue Dragons in 2019. In the first half of the season, Logan Sartori, with 22 steals, has only had 2 steals in his last 14 games, and he hasn't ran that often. Nobody's ran that often, so the Dragons really went to this grip it and rip it mentality down the stretch. And yet they're 41-19. Swing and a miss, strike 3 on the high fastball, 2 away. Now Sartori. Sartori tied Quentin Crandall for the all-time triples record. He hit one to center field that Reese Cornell stumbled going back to get. He then scored on Zane Schmidt's RBI ground out. Since then, 3 fly balls that have gone about a mile up but have yielded nothing. Ball 1 to Sartori. Yesterday, it was all on the ground for Logan, and it produced 3 hits. Foul back to the net, 1-1. A little windy, but a wonderful evening here in Wichita. 1-1 pitch. Right down the chute for a strike, and it's 1-2. Wow. I don't know if Logan was looking for something off speed, but that was a fastball right down the middle. And Logan let it go. Nedved on deck if Sartori can extend the inning. The pitch. Hit well to left. Going back. This is a chance. And it's gone. A 2-run home run for Sartori. And it's 12-7. Sartori with home run number 10. RBIs, or home run number 12, RBIs 58 and 59. That was a laser beam out of here to left. Now Nedved. That'll play to the right. Logan Sartori now takes over 10th place all by himself on the career home run list with 21. One's hit to center field. Cornell on the run, still going back, and it's gone. Back-to-back home runs by Sartori and now Nedved. And now the Dragons are back within 4, 12-8. Nedved with home run number 10. It's a 3-run eighth, and the Dragons aren't necessarily dead yet. That will get the Colby bullpen up. Zane Schmidt, the batter. And it's career home run number 15 for Dylan Nedved. And all this happening with 2 out. High chopper up the middle, fielded by the second baseman. And Enoch Perez throws out Zane Schmidt to end the inning. 3 runs on 2 hits, back-to-back home runs by Sartori and Nedved. Nobody left on. We go to the 9th, our new score, Colby 12 and Hutchinson 8. Back-to-back home runs by Logan Sartori and Dylan Nedved. Sartori hitting his 12th of the year. Nedved his 10th. 3-run 8th inning. The Dragons are back within 12-8. Now Matt Delcom will face the lower third of the Colby order to try to keep it there. The difference in a mindset between a 4 and a 5-run deficit is miles. A 4-run deficit means a grand slam would tie it. 5-run deficit means a grand slam would pull you within 1, and just the mental mindset's a lot different. So a big 8th inning. See if it leads to something special in the bottom of the 9th. But now Matt Delcom tasked with keeping the Trojans off the board at strike 1 to Tucker Zadunich. He came up with a big 2-run single in the 7th. That at the time gave Colby a 12-5 lead. Delkin misses with that offering. And it's 1-1. Zdunich, 1 for 3, couple of RBIs and a run scored. He was hit by a pitch in Colby's 6-run first. The 1-1 from Delcom. That slider misses way outside and gets away from Max McGuire. Maybe Denny Steckline joins me tomorrow, maybe not. The Dragons rally and win. I'll definitely have the master of the Twitterverse. Pitch hits him. So tonight, Colby batters have, or the Colby leadoff man has reached 1, 2, 3, 4 times. They went 5 straight innings without after the leadoff home run by Boozide. But in the 7th, 8th, and 9th, they have reached and all scored. So that's an inauspicious start to the 9th. Now Tyler Mcwilley, big 3-run home run in the first. He is 1 for 4, a couple of strikeouts. Pitch way outside. More Dragon pitchers head down to the bullpen. Get loosened up quickly. The pitch. Fastball outside. And it's 2-0. Wind in the pitch. That's a good fastball from Delcom. And an 86 for a strike. Delcom actually gets more good movement out of his fastball when he's throwing 86, 88 as opposed to 91, 93. Soft toss over to first. Delcom a raw pitcher in terms of development. But the potential's off the charts for this young man. The pitch. Lifted foul off to the right. 12 runs, 9 hits, 1 error, 6 left on for the Trojans. 8 runs, 8 hits, 2 errors, 7 left on for the Blue Dragons. The pitch. Called strike 3 at the knees. Good pitch from Delkin. 1 away. Mcwilley goes down. Now Reese Cornell. Cornell 1 for 4. He led off the 8th with a single and scored. The wind in the pitch from Delcom. Ground ball to second. Sartori has it. Underhand flips to second for 1. Nedved back to first. Safe. Good speed down the line by Cornell, but the Dragons do get the force. But it gets the lineup turned around, or turned upside down back to the top of the order, and Boozide. Boozide with a couple of hits. He's been on base 3 times. Again, led off the game with a home run. Just like last night when Zion Bolin robbed that home run against Fort Scott to be a setter of fortune. Boozide's home run was the same time for Colby. Really set a tone for the first inning. A 6-run first against the Dragons. They chipped away back to within 6-5, but Colby has scored 3 runs each in the 7th and 8th innings. Strike called to Boozide, 0-1. pitch. A little bit low, 1-1. Again, Delcom the sixth pitcher this evening. Good note from Danny Steckline. 9 of Colby's runs have come on just 3 hits. 6 on 2 in the first and 3 on 1 in the eighth. Solid point. Pitch inside. Runner tries to move up to throw down. Not in time. Now the throw gets away from Nedved, but Sartori will back up the play. It'll be a wild pitch charged to Matt Delcom. Here's the 2-1 from Delcom. Good location in on the hands. Buzide fouls it off, and now it's 2-2. This game 11 minutes shy of 3 hours. Dragons were done in less than 2 yet last night. Or last evening, to be more precise. 2-2 pitch. Strike him out and the inning is over. Nice job by Matt Delcom. No runs, no hits, 1 left for Colby in the top of the ninth. It'll be Metzger, Bolin, and Moritz, the middle third of the order in the bottom of the ninth. Dragons need 4 to stay alive, 5 to win it. We head to the bottom of the ninth. Trojans 12 and the Dragons 8. Nate Stark tries to close it out for the Trojans. He'll have the middle third of the order. Metzger, Bolin, and Moritz. Dragons simply need base runners. Right now the tying run sitting in the dugout. And as explosive as this Hutchinson offense is, you would just love to get a chance to get that tying run to the plate. Riley Metzger, 3 postseason home runs. 2 for 4 tonight, a double and a single. Takes a strike. Metzger flew out in his only other appearance against Stark in this one. Riley chases that off-speed offering, and now he's in an 0-2 hole. The types of at-bats just weren't there tonight. The plate discipline wasn't there tonight. That one's ripped toward the gap, right center field. That's down into the wall. Extra bases for Metzger. Metzger's got a 3-hit night. Doesn't need to take 3 and take a chance. So there's the first base runner. Now the tying run sneaks a little closer to the on-deck circle. Still in the dugout. Riley a 3-hit night, a pair of doubles. I think Stark would love to have that 0-2 pitch back. That was flush out over the middle of the plate, and Riles jumped all over it. Now Zion Bolin. 0 for 3 with a walk and a run scored. Hit the ball well his last time up and lined out to center fielder Reese Cornell. Takes a big hack and misses. Right now, Zion, you cannot hit a grand slam. Just get on base. Continual presence of base runners put pressure on pitchers more than home runs. That fastball misses high. Dragons now with 9 hits. Hits are tied 9 apiece. Stark's pitch. Zion didn't mean to go, but he did. Now he trails in the count 1-2, and he chased the ball out of the zone. That just simply didn't happen yesterday. One and two the count. Metzger at second, nobody out. Bottom of the ninth, 12-8 Colby. The pitch. Blowing outside, 2-2 to Bolin. If you're looking for late inning comebacks, the Dragons have had a couple of them this year. The Garden City game where Zane Schmidt had the 3 home run game and the walk-off, probably closest to this current situation. The pitch, way outside, full count now to Bolin. Bullpen quiet, but now people are starting to mingle for Ryan Carter down the left field bullpen. Stark takes a walk around the mound and tries to collect his thoughts before this 3-2 offering to Zion Bolin. Righty-righty matchup. Here's the payoff pitch. Got him swinging. Took something off, ended up in the zone. Zion chased it. Dragons 2 outs away from falling to the loser's bracket. Now Ryan Moritz. Mo, 1 for 2. He's been on base 3 times with a pair of walks, a single in the 4th, and a run scored. Grounded out to third his last time up. The tying run still sitting in the dugout. 1 step away from the on-deck circle. Ryan chases a high fastball and misses. Zach Baxley on deck. Start comes set. Now delivers the 0-1. Cued foul, and now Moritz hits from an 0-2 hole. Preston Ingalls stands to get the win. Stark would get the save when he entered the game. It was only a 1-run deficit. LJ McDonough on the hook for the loss. If it stands, still 2 outs to go. The pitch. High and away, 1-2 to Moritz. One-two pitch. Called strike 3, outside corner. Mo couldn't pull the trigger. Stark paints the outside corner. Back-to-back strikeouts after the Metzger double. And now the Dragons 1 out away from the loser's bracket. Here's Baxley. Still say you go back to the 5th and 6th innings when the Dragons got leadoff runners aboard and weren't able to move them around. Sometimes when the wind blows out, like it is tonight, that is a detriment to this 2019 Blue Dragon team because the swings just become too wild. They're all trying to hit home runs. Strike outside corner, 0-1. We've had that chat with several people just about the mentality of this team when the wind blows out. The 0-1 pitch. A little bit tight, 1-1. Dragons were trying to advance to a winner's bracket final, the Central District Tournament, for the first time since '05, and it's going to take a major two-out rally to do so. Foul back, and now the Dragons down to their final strike. Colby carried a bunch of momentum in from last night, scored 6 in the first. Saw the Dragons rally within 1, but then took charge with 3 runs each in the 7th and the 8th, and now they're an out away from facing Cowley in the winner's bracket final. Stark out of the stretch comes set, the 1-2 pitch. Struck him out in the inning. The game is over. 12-8 your final. Colby defeats Hutchinson. The Blue Dragons will now play Cloud County in an elimination game tomorrow at 1 p.m. to try to keep their season alive. Colby now will play Cowley in the winner's bracket final at 4. 12-8 your final. We'll wrap it up right after this. Welcome back to Tyler Field Eck Stadium on the campus of Wichita State University. Steve Carpenter with you. Blue Dragon post game, and it's not a very happy one tonight as the Dragons now fall into the losers bracket of the Region 6 or Central District Championship. A 12-8 loss to Colby. Colby's first win of the year over Hutchinson in 5 tries. The totals for Colby: 12 runs, 9 hits, 1 error, 7 left on. For the Blue Dragons, 8 runs, 9 hits, 2 errors, 8 left on. The winning pitcher, Peyton Ingles, he improves to 6-3. L.J. McDonough takes the loss. He falls to 1-4. And Nate Stark earns his second save of the season. Time of ball game, 2 hours and 59 minutes. The Dragons were in a hole from the get-go. Nathan Buzide on the third pitch of the game hits a solo home run. And that started off what became a 6-run first inning. L.J. McDonough lasts just 2/3 of an inning before being lifted. The Dragons got it back within 6-5 after a 3-run fourth inning. Max McGuire with an RBI double down the left field line, and then a 2-run throwing error by shortstop Blake Gallagher off the bat of Dylan Nedved. That allowed 2 runs to score. The Dragons got leadoff men aboard in the 5th and 6th and couldn't cash. And then Colby broke it open with 3 runs in the 7th, 3 runs in the 8th. And the Blue Dragons drop it 12-8. So now this is what's going to happen. In order for the Blue Dragons to go to Grand Junction, it's not going to be easy. 2 wins tomorrow, 2 wins Saturday, and another win on Sunday. That's 5. The Dragons now need a 5-game winning streak without a loss to get to Grand Junction. But in order for that to happen, you got to get number 1, and that becomes priority number 1. It will be Cloud County tomorrow at 1 p.m. We'll be on the air at 12:45 with all the coverage from Eck Stadium here in Wichita. Really not much else to say. The Dragons are going to have to get back to what they did yesterday against Fort Scott if they expect to make something happen. And the Dragon bullpen, which pitched well for most of the night, but faltered down the stretch, will have to come up with an even better effort tomorrow. We'll likely see Dylan Nedved and or Miguel Reyes Jr. on the bump tomorrow for Ryan Schmidt. My thanks to my video guru, Brandon Sams, to Cherie Sams for running the controls tonight. Steve Carpenter from Eck Stadium in Wichita. Once again, the final score, the Dragons drop into the losers bracket with a 12-8 loss to Colby. We'll talk to you tomorrow at 12:45 p.m. as the Dragons try to stay alive with the matchup against the Cloud County Thunderbirds. Until then, from Wichita, so long, everybody.